Hello and welcome to Third Stringers, the show and podcast. We're all about tech and sports and how technology is revolutionizing all the major sports as well as health and fitness. Hello everyone, I'm Paul Dunley-Bledo, the editor of Tech and Sports, and we got some great tech and sports content for you on our website, itbusiness.ca. From there, click on the sports page and there you have it. With me here today is the Carlton kid herself,
Hello.
Mandy Kovacs. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
And for you Laverne and Shirley fans, the big Radu over there, Alex Radu.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Yeah. We have a power pack lineup for you today, starting with Bracketology for Business. Yes, that's right. March Madness is coming to an end. We're at the Final Four, and we're going to look on how predictive analytics can be used to fill out your bracket. Alex, you also have an interesting story about a Minnesota tech hub for sports.
I do.
And Mandy, her story is on FanTag, a new video engagement platform to help fans relive the greatest sporting moments. From there, we're going to go to the March Madness by the numbers and see who's going to win the annual tournament. So sit back and don't panic because the third stringers are coming into the game. So guys, we always start off with trivia. And I got a lot of feedback from our first question that it was way too hard. So I got an easy one for you.
Okay.
The NHL has come out with the top 100 players. Now, they didn't rank them. It's for their 100th anniversary of hockey. But it's kind of obvious that Wayne Gretzky's the best player of all time, right? He has more assists than the number 2 overall scorer, Jaromir Jagr, has points. So the question is, what was Wayne Gretzky's first professional team? While you ponder that, for all you guys out there on Twitter, Facebook,
I feel
YouTube,
like I know this.
you can guess too, and we'll track your answers. Any opening salvos on that one?
It was a Edmonton team.
Edmonton Oilers?
It wasn't the Oilers, though.
But it wasn't the Oilers.
It was an Edmonton team, but I don't remember what it was called.
Okay. And Mandy?
Yeah, I have something in Edmonton.
Okay.
Because there was the WHL?
That's right,
I think.
WHA.
WHA.
So Alex has a beat on this one.
I've got a B, but I don't have the name. I want to say Wheat Kings, but that's not it.
It's the Brandon Weekends is a junior team in Manitoba.
I'm aware of that, yeah.
All right.
It's not the Wheat Kings.
Okay, let's talk about bracketology for business. And we all filled out our NCAA brackets, and I'll say that mine's completely busted. How are yours doing?
I mean, I took Kentucky, so they're done. That was about it for me.
I guessed UCLA, and
so
they were done before Kentucky.
Do you know, to get a perfect bracket, the odds are 1 in 4.7 billion. And more than 40 million Americans fill out a bracket, and there are over 70 million brackets filled out in total. And I had a great interview with the creative director of Sapient Razorfish, a guy by the name of Chad Borlase, who's trying to mesh the passion for March Madness for business productivity. So he's already developed apps for Canadian basketball and the Miami Heat, and he's using technology to engage fans with the tournament and also get new data insights on the fan engagement. One of the most interesting things about what he's doing is that he's modeled, like the Miami Heat app, he's modeled it after a financial services app. So because they both deal in wins and losses. So I thought it was very, very interesting. And I want to go over the March Madness bracket here because there's a lot of numbers and I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm going to read this. So I apologize in advance. One of the more agonizing exercises people have with March Madness is filling out that bracket because it contains 68 U.S.-based collegiate and university basketball teams. There are 4 sections to the bracket. And before the tournament even starts, there's 4 playing games to round out the final 64 teams. Add another 32 first-round games to choose from, 16 second-round games. There's a total of 67 games to be played throughout the tournament. And choosing one wrong team can really screw up and crush your dreams of a perfect bracket, as I know full well. So, but Borlase was telling me that data is going to be the future for bracketology. And And if you look at some of the stats that I use to pick my brackets, for example, I had USA winning because UCLA winnings, thank you, because they were the highest scoring team. They had 90.4 points per game, but it didn't end up working out because they got booted out in the Sweet 16, I believe.
Yeah, you need a defense as well.
You need defense, that's right. But you see, the team with the best defense was actually, I have it here.
Off the top of my head, I think it was UVA.
Yeah, I don't have it here, but it's interesting how they how the lowest scoring defense didn't make it to the Final Four either.
It's about balance.
It's about balance. Yeah. So some of the the Final Four has North Carolina, Gonzaga, Oregon, and the real sleeper, the dark horse, South Carolina Gamecocks. Did you know that there's only one team that has entered the Final Four for the first time that ever won it, and that was UConn back in the day. And so we're going to be picking our winner for this later on in the show. But predictive analytics, and you see this being developed with IBM and SAP and SAS, and there are going to be the basis of making decisions. For example, one of the ones that I use for my brackets, which by the way, the only thing I got right, was that 15% of the 15th seed beat the number 2 seeds. So with that kind of information, I had all my number 2 seeds winning. That was the only thing I got right, because I think I'm in last place on our pool.
Second last.
Yeah, second last. Doing a little bit better.
Well, I mean, Mandy and I are just a step above. None of us are winning our office pool.
Unfortunately. I really wanted that trophy.
And so do I, but
Yeah,
someone else is going to be winning it besides us. So, Alex, you have an interesting story about Minnesota Tech Hub. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so in Minnesota, there's a technology-based company called Sports Engine, and they create applications for sports organizations. Basically, they make software for amateur sports leagues and other organizations to manage their online leagues and operations. And so what's interesting about this company is that so far they've raised $39 million in funding. They have over 5 million active users. Last summer, they were purchased by NBC Sports after already raising all of that money. Mm-hmm. So they're creating this community in Minnesota to be almost this Silicon Valley-esque hub for sports technology in Minneapolis, the Twin Cities. And what makes it so cool is that this doesn't exist in sports. So they're kind of on the ground floor here.
Right.
They have a co-working space called The Pitch that has about 50 full-time members and 25 part-time members. And these are tiny tech startups who are working in sports tech, whether that be an injury management platform for youth sports, providing software for tryouts, etc. They are making this tiny community, and it's bringing more people in. And some of them are being quite successful. So recently, Sports Engine also just acquired 2 new companies for background screening. Mm-hmm. So they are now the only youth sports program that is actually being used by some of these North American agencies to actually make sure that their coaches and the people in all of these youth leagues are background checked and they have the same the same expectations as business background checks, because it's youth sports and your kids should be protected. You shouldn't have some random person come in off the street and coach your kids.
Why did NBC Sports want to buy them?
NBC Sports wanted. They saw the opportunity here. They have. They've been working with golf technology a little bit, and they saw all of this happening, and we're like, well, this isn't too huge of an investment, but they got in on the ground floor here, and by all means, it's becoming successful. They're really creating a community in Minnesota.
Why Minnesota? Sorry, jump in.
Minnesota has. It's really the community. I spoke with the founder, co-founder of Sports Engine, Carson Kipfer, and he was saying that the people of Minnesota, they really, really are open to this type of technology. It's a great sports community. It's just a great community in general. And the fact that all these people are coming into the city and creating something new, they're all 100% on board with. So they've really been able to ingrain themselves in Northeast Minneapolis.
any initial interesting projects that they're working on?
So they have quite a few. The one that stood out for me was I mentioned it briefly earlier. There's a Players Health is the startup, and it's an injury management platform for youth sports. So it's really just giving all these youth leagues. I mean, we all remember growing up as a kid, playing sports. It's this ragtag kind of thing put together. But now you have all these sports are so intense now. Everyone's doing them. There's all this technology, and there's a really good opportunity here for people to get in on the ground floor. And that doesn't just happen with Sports Engine. There's another company called Sport Radar who has their U.S. headquarters in Minneapolis, and they have a deal to distribute stats for the NBA, WNBA, D-League, on top of previous exclusive contracts with the NFL, NHL, Facebook, Google, Twitter, CBS Sports. So this community in Minneapolis is becoming pretty big.
I'm not surprised that they're heading into the data analytics thing because, like we said, with Bracketology for Business, predictive analytics, just in sports and in business, all about wins and losses. How do you get the data to help make better decisions? So, a very interesting story there. So, Mandy, tell us about FanTag.
Yeah, FanTag is pretty cool because, I mean, you're a Blue Jays fan, right?
Sure am.
So do you remember Bautista's bat flip in
I was there
2015?
in Game 5. I saw it. I lived it. And yeah, absolutely. Great moment.
So I mean, when great moments like that happen, you want to relive them over and over and over again. Especially if you're actually at the event, you might want to share it on social media, send pictures, send videos, some of your friends. So what FanTag is doing, they created an app so that when you're at a sporting event, you can open their app, and when you see something cool happen on the ice, on the field, wherever you are, you can tap their app, and it'll jump back 15 seconds. And it'll pull broadcasts and live feeds from whoever is filming the game, and you can relive it, and you can save it. You can save it as a GIF, you can save it as a video, clips, and you can share it. So it works really well. They're working through partners. That's how they're getting all the video feed, and it also pulls other fan videos that might be online that are live streaming the game.
So if I was filming it with my smartphone, that would be there as well.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole point of it is that you don't have to film the game yourself, right? Like, you don't have to worry about potentially being on all the time at the game and hope that you catch that great moment. It would allow you to do that through other people's feeds.
Right, so you can actually just watch the game and enjoy for what it is instead of trying to capture these moments and show your friends.
Exactly.
Right,
so I mean, the only caveat is that you have to have this app open on your phone and you have to be ready to tap it. But I mean, I feel like that's a lot easier than actually hoping you're streaming it properly, right?
So how far back can it go? Can it relive when Mike Eruzione scored against the Russians in 1980 or for Miracle on Ice? Or
No, it works at the games that you're actually at. So that's the whole point. It's trying to revolutionize the live game experience so that you can capture the great moments that people might see on TV, but you may not see the replay at the time of.
Okay.
Because you have this app open, so is it constantly using data?
No, it'll only pull data and it'll only use the video when you actually tap it.
Okay.
And then it'll pull all the live streams from whoever they're partnering with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so far, I mean, they've had really big names support them so far. It's like StubHub is behind it.
Okay.
And I believe members of the Sacramento Kings ownership group in the NBA.
The Maloof brothers.
Yes. I don't know if it's exactly them, but
Could be Shaq too. He's a minority.
That's right. He's a
you
minority.
never know,
That's
right? And then they actually just added former Apple Vice President John Stone as their COO. So they've had some pretty big support. Right now it's just in the beta phase, but they're hoping to unveil more partnerships going forward in 2017 and actually launching it live.
That sounds like a really cool thing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do they have a website so people can
They
check it
do.
out?
It's fantag.live. Yeah.
Okay, so those are the top stories that we're going to be discussing on our show today. So let's get to predictive analytics. Let's find out who's going to win the NCAA tournament. Now, when we did this on our first show, I believe Mandy and I got it right and you got yours wrong. So we're batting 1,000, you're batting, you're below the Mendoza line.
I stand by the fact that you picked the San Jose Sharks over the Vancouver Canucks, which anyone in their right mind would do that.
But based on Corsi data, anyways,
Okay.
what do you guys think? Who's going to win the tournament?
Andy?
I'm choosing Gonzaga.
Why?
Well, this is the first time in the Final Four. I mean, I think that alone will spur them to do pretty well. They also have a giant guy up front. They have Karnowski. He's 7'1", 300 pounds, and he just came back from potentially a career-ending injury last year.
Okay.
So I really think that they're motivated, and I think that they can do it.
All right. Alex, you got one for Gonzaga. You going to
Yeah.
go Gonzaga route? Or?
I feel Gonzaga, because Gonzaga really is probably the best team in the tournament. But you have to look at South Carolina, the Gamecocks. They could be, that miracle team, which isn't really that great of a miracle. They are, the
Aren't
seventh,
they an 11th seed?
No, they're the seventh seed.
Oh, seventh
So
seed,
it's
okay.
not like it's this crazy thing. But UConn did it twice in the last decade. So it could be South Carolina, but it's also, UNC is the obvious pick. Oregon's playing really great. It's really tough. It's a flip of the die for all of them, but I'm probably going to go Gonzaga. I think they probably are the best team in the tournament, and they have the most complete team. We were talking earlier that you need balance.
Right.
They have offense, they have defense, and those South Carolina beat Duke, so we'll see.
Okay.
So I just want to state for the record, I do not like the North Carolina Tar Heels, but they are my pick, and my pick is based basically on pattern of success. I'm using that kind of data to make my decision. They've been to the Final Four, I believe, 30 times. They have seen success, while the other teams, Oregon was only there once, and that was in 1939, so that's like way back there. Gonzaga first trip, and South Carolina first trip. So because of past experience or past results, which you should be making business decisions based on past results, I'm going to go with the North Carolina Tar Heels to win the tournament. So let's go to our initial question for trivia, and then we'll wrap up. So first professional team, because his first NHL team is the Edmonton Oilers, but there was a rival league back in the day called the World Hockey Association, and they competed against the NHL. And one of the ways they competed was to sign underage players like Wayne Gretzky. And so who signed him to his first professional contract?
I'm at a loss.
Again, they are stumped, everyone.
So it was Edmonton something, because I know
Right.
it was the Edmonton WHA team.
So the Edmonton WHA team, just to put you out of your misery, was called the Oilers. Now, what they were originally called were the Alberta Oilers, and then they
Okay.
quickly changed to Edmonton Oilers.
Okay. Was it a Toronto? No, it wasn't a Toronto team.
No, it was not a Toronto team.
My next guess would be like Nova Scotia for some reason, but
Nova
it's
Scotia.
definitely not Nova Scotia.
no, it was something
No,
in
so-
the West Coast.
Yeah, it was West Coast.
Right?
It was
We're
West-
close.
Not West Coast.
It was
What?
it was definitely Ontario then. Granted, we're just
He's
guessing.
from the Belleville area, isn't he?
Who? No, Brantford.
Brantford. One of the Bees.
Okay, well, the point being is that neither of us know it.
Neither is no. So it's the Indianapolis Racers.
Huh.
So the Indianapolis
Never would've guessed
Racers were in financial difficulty early on in the last WHA season, and so they sold the rights to Wayne Gretzky to the Edmonton Oilers for cash and a few other players. And the rest, as they say, is NHL history. And this show is history. So thanks a lot for watching. Please continue to visit our website, itbusiness.ca, the sports page, where we have other stories about new technology for lighting up next year's Super Bowl and the world's longest race, the Volvo Ocean Race. I want to thank Mandy and Alex.
Thank
I'm
you.
Paulo Dunlabletto, signing off. Till next time.